I feel nostalgic today. This is a post about one of the games that changed my childhood, and you guys know I'm the biggest fan of Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask has been my favorite game for years on end. My Majora's Mask has been my favorite game since I was 12 till I was 28, and I played Elden Ring. Yeah, Majora's Mask was something special, but there's no Majora's Mask without Ocarina of Time. And it's sad because when I grew up, I had so much love for Majora's Mask, and I never gave Ocarina of Time a chance. Ocarina of Time was very different. It was about, it was the introduction of the hero of time, right? The most, in my opinion, the most, one that thought of us that way. It was the most popular, the most renowned Link. So Ocarina of Time, it was such an important game because, again, it is the foundation to the three timelines. So the timeline where Ganon gets defeated, the timeline where Ganon gets wins, and a timeline where Ganon is in prison, right? So Ocarina of Time, I was watching this game and I was like, okay, well, it's a bit joyous, it's a bit of a mess, and the sad part about, okay, so the two that I played the most were Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, because I had it, like I said in the previous video, I had it till 64 till I was 20, right? And so what happened was I didn't like Ocarina of Time because you started in such a joyous place, and sure, Hyrule is not a joyous place. It never is a joyous place, but you come from Hyrule, which is a place where there's Goron, there's Deku, there's Kokiri, there's Zoras, there's Hyruleans, right? And they live in kind of like a peace, if you want. And then in the second half of the game, it's super dark. I'm like, fuck, you know. Ocarina of Time, the death story I can tell you. This is going way back. When I got the game, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and the first boss, which was Goma, the spider, I was afraid of him, so I was frozen by fear and I could beat him. So what I would do, I had a friend that could beat the boss for me, and yeah, so it was odd. It was really odd. Ocarina of Time was such a good game, in my opinion. It was such an controversial. The game, I don't have to sing its praises. It's amazing. You guys know it if you didn't play it. It is a game you must play. Why was it so influential for me as a kid? Why was it so influential to me as an adult? For me, Ocarina of Time is a great game because it is a game about a person, which is Link, finding himself, saving the world, and it's such a tragic story. So what? Again, I'm repeating myself, but why I love Ocarina of Time so much is because it is quite a joyous game. So at the end of the day, you save the world, right? You did save Hyrule, but it's quite a sad story. So in the first like half of the game, not the half of the game, I'm gonna say in the childhood part of the game, you think you save the world, but you don't save the world. You're used by a Ganon to unleash the Master Sword, to unleash the Triforce. And so everything that happened is basically because of you. Because if you didn't unlock the Triforce, Ganon would be that strong, and if he wasn't as strong, yes, he would have fought Hyrule, but Hyrule might have won, you know. Ocarina of Time is also quite sad because Ocarina of Time is a game where the main character, Link, again, Link invented out. There's probably a Link, who knows. It is a game where Link saves the world, but has to put the sword back. So it's a time traveling story. So you get the childhood saga, then you have the sword to release and create this chaotic world. The way to seal Ganon is to put him in the Chamber of Time and seal the Chamber of Time, right? So Ocarina of Time is a game where you're constantly like saving the world, and you know at the very end that you're gonna have to go back in time, and by going back in time, you're gonna remember what you did. You never were a hero. You never was. So you suffered, and it is about doing what's right, not because you want to, because you need to, and you're not expecting anything in return. And as a child, this is very hard to understand. Doing something like as important as saving the world and not expecting anything in return. It is such a foreign concept. Ocarina of Time was also the first game I played, which was kind of open world. So you had multiple village, and yes, I played game like Super Mario 64 before that, and I played Banjo-Kazooie before that. But it was world. It wasn't a whole world what you can enter a village, right? I still remember spending hours and hours in Kokoro Village because I just love Kokoro Village. I remember Ocarina Time was the very first playthrough where I was on a vehicle. And sure, Epona is a horse, but it's also a vehicle because it is a mode of transportation, right? So Ocarina Time was super influential because I think it was the beginning of so much. It was the beginning of battling enemy that were getting stronger. It wasn't. It was. A lot of people were saying that Ocarina of Time was an RPG. I don't know if I would call it an RPG per se, but you do have to get stronger to get more advanced. It was also a lot of dungeon. It was also a lot of people. Like for example, when you're a child, you have to save the. And it's such a beautiful game. I was talking about a couple minutes ago how Ocarina of Time biggest, in my opinion, biggest turn off for me as a kid. Now I love it. Now that I understand, the fact that you understand something, you absolutely love it. One of the part that I didn't like was, as a kid, one of the part that I didn't like was I had to save the Goron, I had to save the Zora. And then Ganon was destroying everything I did, so I didn't understand that I had to save those people twice. But it is not that. The game is so well made. You're introduced to the Goron, introduced to the Zora because they're racist. And as races, they're part of Hyrule, right? And you introduce them, you do a little quest for them, which is basically the Childhood Saga, which is honestly kind of like the tutorial if you think about it. And then you become an adult, and when you become an adult, then you curse those people as you help them, but you curse them, right? And it's crazy because, for example, when you do the Goron Darmani, which is the leader of the Goron, he gives you the ruby, and he's like, "Oh, you're a brother. You're one of us. We love you. We care about you." And you're like, "Holy shit, wow!" And the Zora, they're like, "Oh, well, you're the princess. She falls in love with you, and she like, I don't know if I can trust you. If I can trust anyone with a stone." The Princess Ruto, which is a character that I fucking love, right? And she's also like, "Fuck that. I'm not even gonna listen to my father, but I love you, so I'm gonna give you the stone." And those people give you the stone because they trust you, and the stone, when they give it to you, like, they trust you with it, and you fuck the whole thing up. So Ocarina of Time is a very pleasant game. It's a very dark game. I think there's a very nice balance. I think there's a very nice whatchamacallit, it is a very nice understory. Like, if you take it at face value, it is a story about a kid who saved the world. But if you take it if you take it at deeper value, is a kid who grew up because he has to. So, like, being sacrificed 7 years of his life. Doesn't even care. It's about a story about a person who made a mistake and has to fix it. That was Ocarina of Time, guys. I know that I love you, that you matter, and I'll see you guys soon. It was my review of. It's not even a review. I'm gonna review when I play the game, but for now, I'm gonna do this.